So I don't know if you all saw, but I did post a link in the announcements for all the indicators that I'm going to be using in this video. So kind of a background on these. I've kind of tested all of these to an extent. Like I've used them in some of the algos that I have created. I've used them, I've seen other people use them in their algos. I know that none of these repaint, which is important. So that's kind of why I chose them as well. Bottom line is they're all solid indicators and you can build an algo around any of them. So that's kind of why I chose them. So I'll put the links in the description of this video after it's done to download those indicators. But I mean, you guys can download them and follow along on Soft4FX if you'd like, whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I just downloaded the data for GBP/CHF, which is what we're gonna use today. I'm going to go ahead and start a new simulation so that we can get indicators loaded on the chart. Let's see here. I want to change these back. For anyone that is having issues with indicators not showing inside of Soft4FX, sometimes when you load it, they'll be blank down here in the indicator window. Usually that's because you don't have enough history set up in here. I normally set this amount at 500, and that usually is enough to get me enough history for the simulator to work. I'm going to go clear back to, I think I downloaded to 2014 on here. So I got to change this. There we go, 2014. Okay, we'll go ahead and start the sim here. For those of you that haven't used Soft4FX, I do have a tutorial video on that you guys can view that kind of shows you the basics. So I'm not really going to go through that right now. We're just going to load a chart up and get started. We'll go ahead and do the daily here, standard charts. Okay. I'm not sure if I can add multiple daily charts here. I haven't, no, guess not. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open this chart. And then those templates I sent you should automatically load the indicators and everything for you as long as you've got the indicators added to your indicator folder. So can everyone hear me? Looks like some people can. Oh, Jerome, you do have sound now? Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go ahead first and we'll go over confirmation indicators. I'm really not doing them in any particular order. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you do first. That's just the one that we'll start with today. Let's see here. So go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to load my confirmation indicator template. And as you can see, we've got some blank space here for these indicators. I guess my history wasn't enough. What you can do is you can just go forward a bit in the indicator until, as you can see, they're starting to load on the bottom here. That's kind of why I downloaded 4 years worth of data so that we could make sure we got far enough to get all of our, indicators loaded. Okay, it looks like we're starting to get them loaded here. I'll go ahead and go in here for a little bit just so that we make sure. I don't know why. I don't know why that tricks is not loading up for us, but it will in a sec here. All right, that's far enough. Let's see if we can. If I drag the screen over, it'll refresh those indicators because it looks like that tricks doesn't want to load for me. Maybe I'll try re-adding that, see if that works. All right, so all of these are, while I'm adding this, these are confirmation indicators. As you can see, I've got a few on-screen indicators here. I know that DP doesn't really like those, but they work for me and I use them. So, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I like them. So, looks like that one doesn't want to load either. I just don't think we're far enough in the sim. I should have got this started first. Let me go a little bit farther here. Just until we get off the screen here, because then it should. Once we get off the screen here, we should be able to go backwards, and then there we go. Now we're starting to get iTrend loading there. Absolute strength. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, TSI doesn't repaint once you get enough data. It just didn't have enough data. It may still not. It takes a little bit for all of these to load data. Okay, so go ahead and get started here then. Let me see if I can add dat tricks now. See if that'll work for us. There we go. Okay, cool. So the first thing I'd look for when I'm doing these, hold on, I just lost. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I look for is I kind of look at all of these indicators and I just start looking at the chart with my crosshairs pulled up here. Why? Those are so small. Okay, so I kind of just pull up my crosshairs here and kind of look at the chart where I would think that I would want to get in on a trade normally. So right here is the beginning of a good trend, right? So what we're kind of looking for is things in these indicators that will signal us that it's time to get into the trend, and we want to get those signals as close to the bottom of that trend as possible. So let's see here. So on the, if you look at Ash or iTrend here, and then Ash as well, which is right below it, these are just default settings, by the way. I haven't changed anything. As you can see, Ash crosses over here faster than iTrend does. So Ash gets us in that trend a little bit earlier, but iTrend seems to cross on the exit side faster than Ash does. We notice that in a couple spots here where Ash, it looks like, is a little bit faster than iTrend to get us into these trends. The thing that we've got to look for, though, is once we hit consolidation zones, what each of them do. As you can see, iTrend kind of stays flat here. I know it's kind of hard to see because this, for some reason, these indicators are loading really small. Not sure why. And Ash kind of gives us another signal here, which, I mean, there is a little bit of a downtrend there, but we don't really, I guess it helps if I zoom in, huh? Okay, but we don't really want to get in on that downtrend. I don't know if that's enough to, you know, get us the pips we need. I doubt it, as a matter. Well, I guess it is 300 pips. We are on the daily, so more pips than I thought. So, I mean, that would get you in there as well. Now, the way TSI, the way I have it set up, so TSI kind of works like RSI. And I know that's in the Dirty Dozen, but I did zoom in. Can you guys see it better now? I'm zoomed in. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. So TSI kind of works the same as RSI. Now, RSI is used wrong by a lot of people. The point of RSI is not for overbought and oversold levels. RSI is a trend strength indicator, which is exactly what TSI means, but RSI means relative strength indicator. So it's not telling, RSI and TSI aren't necessarily telling us overbought and oversold. They're telling us the strength of a trend. So I've added, so the default settings for TSI, there's no line by default, but reading up on TSI, they consider 25 as overbought and negative 25 as oversold. But what these overbought and oversold levels mean is just that the trend is stronger in that area. So if you've noticed with RSI a lot, it'll hit like the overbought level, and it'll stay up there for a long time if it's following a trend. That's just because the trend is stronger at the top. It's not necessarily that it's overbought and it's going to turn around right away. So that's kind of what the TSI is telling us right here. Now, the way that the CCI works is it measures the distances between moving averages. So the farther away that the moving average gets from price, it will make the CCI bigger. So at this point here, you know, the moving average is the farthest away. Now, Trix kind of uses the same type of thing. I'm not really too familiar with Trix, but I do know a lot of people that use it. And as you can see, we get different entrances here depending on which indicator we use. So if we use CCI, we get an entrance clear back here, which is basically the same place that the iTrend gives us an entrance, but it's after Ash gives us an entrance. So Ash still gets us in this trend earlier. TSI gets us in this trend if we're following the 25 level. It gets us in this trend way later, but you know, it may help us to prevent consolidation areas. However, once we get into the volatility indicator, that will also help us prevent consolidation. So what I'm looking at here is what I'm liking about absolute strength is it looks like it's getting us into trend sooner. So we've got an entrance right there at the bottom of that uptick. We've got an entrance right here at the bottom of that downtrend. And assuming we do the, you know, the 1x ATR for our first take profit, our ATR, I need to change that because that's set up wrong. It's set up at 70% instead of 100. So this indicator right here, that shows me the amount of pips for the ATR, that's called the ATR pips indicator. I like it better because it doesn't take up like space at the bottom where your other indicators do. By default though, it sets it for 70% of the ATR and it sets it on 13. I don't know why, but it does. So, all right. Whoa. I did that wrong. Not 100, it's just 1. There we go. Okay, so our 1x ATR is going to be 117 pips. So if we take the signals that Ash is giving us, it's going to give us plenty of pips to, you know, on that. That looks kind of like a small downtrend, but in reality, it's 287 pips. So that's, you know, quite a big downtrend in my book. If we look over here, we get in, let's see, right about here, which gives us another, you know, on this uptrend, we're 474 pips. So as you can see, Ash gets you in just on the default settings at, you know, pretty good spots. Our CCI is getting us in about the same spot as Ash, it looks like. iTrend's getting us in late, and TSI is getting us in late. Tricks, it looks like it's getting us in later than Ash would as well. So, I mean, just judging by this, and this is kind of how I choose, I go by the ones that will get me into the trend the soonest. I'm not really too worried about consolidation at this point because that's where my volatility indicators will come in. So for now, we're going to get rid of, so this is how I eliminate indicators. So once I've got a whole bunch of them here that I've looked at, we're going to go ahead and get rid of iTrend because that gets us in the trend too late. TSI, because apparently I didn't realize it was repainting, but it repaints, so we'll get rid of that. And then Tricks is also getting us in the trend later, so we'll get rid of those as well. So now if we look here, it looks like Ash and CCI are very close to each other to getting us in. CCI gets us in a lot later. Now, before you guys tell me, I know CCI is on the dirty dozen, but I don't agree with it. I think it's a great indicator. So use it, don't use it, whatever. I think it's great. So let's see, we get in a long trend here. We get in, let's see, a short trend. If we miss this short right here, which the short is 280 pips. So let's say we miss that one and we get in on this one right here. We are at, see, even if we get in at the bottom of this candle, we're at 147 pips, which is still 1x our ATR. So, I mean, I'm happy with those. That looks like it's giving us decent settings there. Now, these on-screen indicators that I have, so I have a personal rule when I'm, as far as my rules go for my algorithm, I always, since we're trend traders, we don't want to go against the trend. So I always have this 200 moving average on here, which will kind of let us know which way the trend is going. So if price is above the 200 moving average, it's said to be in an uptrend. If it's below the 200 moving average, it's said to be in a downtrend. So now I personally don't want to take trades against the trend. So like, for example, if price is above the 200 MA, I'm only going to take long trades. Just because it's a higher probability gives you that edge. I mean, a lot of people like to go against the trend, but we don't do that. We're trend traders. Let's see, Serene, Solomon. So you want to look at QQE. Yeah, I can add that really quick. I haven't used QQE, so take a look. But yeah, we can definitely look at it. Let's see, got a few QQEs here. Let's take a look at this one. I've downloaded a bunch of these, but I'm not really sure. I hate alerts, so we're going to turn them off. I don't know why, but I hate things like that popping up on my screen, so go ahead and turn them off. Okay, well, apparently this one has arrows. I don't like arrow indicators because in my experiences, they all repaint. So, I mean, I'm sure we can turn them off. So QQE, it looks like it's kind of the same thing. It's a zero line indicator. So you've got above zero for long, below zero for short. Looks like if we look there, it gets us in a little bit after Ash on that uptrend. Let's see, this uptrend here gets us in a little bit after Ash as well as a little bit after the CCI. See this one here. So this one didn't actually go down to zero. So it looks like, so this maybe keeps you in the trend longer. It doesn't get you in the trend as quick, it looks like, at least through my limited, you know, looking here. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But I mean, looking here, it looks like Ash and CCI both get us in sooner. So, okay, we'll take that one off. I may play with that one more later. I mean, changing the settings, of course, may fix that, but we're not going to go through that today. We're just going to do default settings. So this is another confirmation indicator I was playing with in one of my algorithms. This is the, I'm not sure how you say it, Kijinsen from Ichimoku. So basically, one rule I created was that price had to be above the Kijinsen. That basically helped with, so to go long, price had to be above Kijinsen. To go short, it had to be below it. So it looks like that can work too if you don't want to go with the whole 200 moving average, rule. I like the 200 moving average rule because then at least I know what's an uptrend, but it looks like you can get more trades this way maybe. So, I mean, those rules are kind of personal and you can add those as you wish. Let's see, vortex indicator performs better than the ash, really. I don't know if I have. So Kijinsen, yes. So I believe it uses a little bit. I know it does use the EMA in there. I'm not sure exactly though. It does differ from that as well. I'm just not sure exactly how it differs. It uses the 26 EMA somehow in its calculations, but I'm not sure if I have vortex. Let me see if I have vortex here. We can mess around with that too. I have vertex. Is it vertex or is it vortex? Is it this one? That one? The one in the chat? Vortex is paid, huh? Okay. So it's not this vertex one that I loaded. Paid indicators, you guys, come on. Okay, go ahead and remove this one. All right, so I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether we should go off the Kijinsen for our long short calls or whether we should go off the 200 moving average. Let's remove the 200 moving average and we'll go off the Kijinsen for this. So now these lines right here, these are HMAs. HMA is a whole moving average. It's supposed to be faster than a regular moving average. So that's really the benefit of those. These are just crosses. So I've got an HMA 50 and an HMA, what did I have this one set at? 21. So that can also be another confirmation to keep you out of, bad trends. It looks like it crosses here above the Kijinsen, crosses here above the Kijinsen, crosses here above the Kijinsen. So, I mean, I'm still pretty comfortable at keeping this Kijinsen for our, our long and short line. There we go. Luke says, so Kijin is 26 period midpoint of high and low. So this, so these HMAs, these ones, they have like blue if you're in an uptrend and brown if you're in it, or red if you're in a downtrend. So I haven't changed any of the colors on them. This slower one is a 50. This faster one is a 21. We're going to remove those though, because I'm looking at this, I'm liking the looks of using the Kijinsen as our kind of our other confirmation. So we're going to remove that. And this is just kind of what I do. I mean, I go through, I look at the charts and kind of see where indicators give me signals and what it looks like on the chart, and then, pick some indicators and test them. So we'll go ahead and, I mean, these are just confirmation indicators. We won't add any more right now. We'll just go ahead and do a couple trades with these, kind of see what happens. So we'll wait until we get our next signal on Ash here. I'm just going to go by bar by bar. I know it's not as accurate, but okay. So we had a down cross here, but we're going to say we have to be above the Kijun Sen, well below it to take a short. So we're not going to take that short. Okay, so we have a long cross right here. So we've got a long cross here. We're above the Kijun Sen, and we're long on the CCI. So we'll go ahead and take a trade. I'm going to do a risk percentage of 2%, so I don't have to figure out stop losses and everything. So stop loss is going to be 1.5x or 127. So 127.5, going to be 191 for our stop loss. 91. Then our take profit, our first one's going to be 127. So I'm actually going to switch this to 1%. We'll do half a position. Do that one, and then we'll take the stop loss off for the second position because we're going to move it to break even once we hit our take profit on the first one. Go ahead and buy on that one. So now we should have two positions open. Let's go ahead and, yeah. So we've got two positions open here. We've got one with a take profit, one without a take profit. This is one thing that I like about Soft4FX over FX Blue is that you can open multiple trades at once. So, all right, let's see what happens here. Okay, so it looks like, so actually, so this is where it gets hard when you're testing. The question is, do we let it stop out, hit our stop, or do we close out when we get an opposite signal? Because as you can see, we have an opposite signal on both the absolute strength and our CCI. If we were going tick by tick, we could have got that signal earlier, but just for time's sake, we're not going to do that today. So, and this is kind of personal preference as well. When VP says that when you're first trading, oh, Vladimir says that you can open multiple trades with FX Blue. Oh, control and click. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. So you can open multiple trades. So VP says when you're first testing, you either hit the stop loss or the take profit, right? And that's when you're, whether it's considered a profitable trade or not. So, but I feel like once you learn how to backtest and you're trying to figure out your algorithm, you're wanting to get an exit indicator as well. Now, when I exit, I don't actually have a certain indicator for exits. I go by the indicators I have, and if I get an opposite signal on any of my indicators, then I'll exit the trade. And I use that as my exit indicator, and it's tended to work pretty well so far. So we're going to go ahead and close these because we have an exit signal on those, and we'll wait for our next signal. Dropped quick there, didn't you? Okay, so we've got a long signal, but we're under the Kijun Sen, so we're not going to take that. But I don't know that, can't really see if that's another signal or not. That kind of just bounced off and went back up. We don't have a long signal on the Nexus O either, so. Okay, so we've got a long signal on Nexus, long signal there, but we're still under the Kijun Sen. So there we go. So we've got a short cross here, short here. We're going to go ahead and take a short again. So it looks like our stop loss is going to be 225. Take profit is going to be 150. And short. And we'll put this one to 0 and no take profit. Okay. So we should have two positions open. Looks like we do. Okay. Now we'll see what happens. Ooh, not doing very good. Did we hit our exit signal before though? Yeah, it looks like we did. So we hit our exit signal here. So would have closed out there. That's also what I like about Soft4FX. You can rewind. So like where we missed our exit signal, we could rewind it back and close out if we needed to. So it looks like so far, these indicators aren't doing very well for us. We got a long signal, but we're under the Kijun-sen. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we have a short cross there. Well, it just kind of bounced off. Maybe it crossed there. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, looks like we got a little bit across there. So we'll go ahead and take a long here. 131. So we are at, if I get a math in my head, let's see. $187 or 131. Okay, so we got our exit signal on that candle. So we'll go ahead and close out of that. Okay, so as you can see, we're not doing very well here, but I think you guys get the picture about how we're, entering trades, exiting trades. So let's see if we can find our volatility indicator and see if that will help us out a little bit here. So we're going to save this template as on confirmation 2 so that we know which one that is, and we'll load our volatility template. Okay, so let's go ahead and load our volatility template. Okay, so these are volatility indicators that I picked, and again, this Damiani indicator, I don't think I've really ever had luck getting it to show right on the sim, and maybe I shouldn't have picked that one, because now that I'm looking at it, I remember it doesn't show right. So we'll get rid of that one. I wasn't going to use it anyway. So here's our volatility indicators. So the way volatility quality zero line works is essentially you are in consolidation if you're on the zero line. So in order for you to take a trade with this indicator, you're supposed to be off of that zero line, going either green or red. The way this range factor works is any signals you get in the middle of these two bars is considered in a range. Let's see. You want me to zoom in? Is that better? Big red candle. Which one? Max bars on Damiani? Oh, okay. See, max bars. It's at 2,000 now. Okay. So yeah, it's at 2,000 now. Do you want me to lower it to 200? Is that what you're saying? That'll work. Try that. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, lower it to 200 and Damiani works for you. Oh yeah, Bob, I know there's an automatic position size calculator. I just didn't get it downloaded. So if you download that from the Discord link, that will help you calculate your positions automatically, so you don't have to manually do it on the calculator like I'm doing. Okay, so this Bollinger Squeeze indicator, this was actually made by one of the members in the Discord. So essentially what this does is anytime you see blue, it's supposed to be consolidation. So we have blue from this area here to from this area here to this area here, which is obvious that's a consolidation zone. Same thing in range factor. It looks like we're a little bit out of the zone in some of those spots. I'm not sure what our pip count is. We're 180 pips. This BB flat, so what this is this uses a MACD and Bollinger Bands. So the Bollinger Bands are the outside red lines. The inside signal is supposed to be a MACD signal. So what you're looking for is for this yellow line to extend past these Bollinger Band lines. And that shows that supposedly that you're in a trend and you're out of consolidation. So as you can see, that would have extended right there. Our range factor is still showing that we're in, consolidation. However, VQZ is showing that we're out of consolidation, as well as this Bollinger squeeze. It's showing out of consolidation as well. Damiani, the way it works is when the green line is above the gray line, that's showing that you're in a trend. When gray line is above the green line, it's showing that you're in consolidation. That's just kind of how those are supposed to work. Let's see, next blue line, third in, Bollinger squeeze. Let's see. So are you talking about this one here or this one here? I'm guessing you're talking about this one here because that kind of looks like a trend. I don't know. Could be a false signal. It could be settings that we have to change. See, it looks like it uses a 50 CCI, 10 RSI, uses a 51301 EMA. So I don't know. Could be a false signal. Could be things we need to change. So yeah, let's see. So we've got. So what I'm gathering from these is this one. It looks like so far at least is. Let's scroll back on the chart and see what it did. It's picking up consolidation pretty well. This BB flat indicator. Looks like we've got a trend here that this one has a hard time. It extends past our line here, and then back in the center here, extends past the line here, goes back in the center. I mean, it does get us in on this trend, but this one, you've got kind of, looks like false signals there, but again, we don't know without our other indicators what that's actually, if we're getting confirmations from those. I'd add those other two to this chart, but it's just too many indicators on here. So what do you guys think? Should we use Damiani in this BB flat, or, I mean, I like VQ0 line, but that's just me. This is on the, I think this is default settings. I usually change it to 12.1. Gives you a little more sensitive signals. Okay, you want to use VQZ and BB flat. Volatility quality available in MT4. Yes, this is MT4. So, okay, we'll go ahead and get rid of range factor. Oops. And get rid of it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we will bring in our confirmation indicators and kind of see what they say. So Ash was on default. I hate these histogram indicators, so we'll remove them. Okay, so Ash was on default, and then we had the Kijun Sen Plus. I'm torn on that one. I don't know, torn on that one, whether we should use it or not. We'll add it though. Okay, so absolute strength, looks like if we look here, so we've got a short signal here, an absolute strength. We've got short signal on VQZ, and we've also, it looks like we get a short signal on BB flat, but takes a little bit longer. It's like VQZ got us in there sooner. Again, I don't know with these painting what they're going to do. We'll just have to run the sim and see. Actually run it. We'll see kind of what signals we get here. Dang, that's a pretty big uptrend. Okay, so we've got a short here. We've got DQZ giving us a short signal. This hasn't quite crossed out of our range yet, I don't think. Maybe it did just a little, but I don't know, not enough for a signal for me. So VQZ supposedly consolidation is supposed to be at the 0 line. Once you get above the 0 line, that's, you know, on either side of it, that's supposed to be when you're hitting the trend. So like this red area right here would be consolidation according to it. See this one right here where the red's on the 0 line, that would also be considered consolidation, where the green's on the 0 line. So essentially above or below that 0 line is consolidation. Well, not consolidation, that's outside of it. Okay, so we had, let's see, an entry signal here on Ash. We were above 0 on the BQ line, but we weren't actually, my current chart, we weren't actually above our Bollinger Band here until about right here. So this one got us in that trend a little bit late. Open data window so we can see the indicator values. Data window. I don't know if that's going to make too many windows here. I guess I can make these smaller because we really don't need them. Is that better? I don't know if that gives us too many windows there. Maybe we're okay. Okay. So, all right. So this, it looks like VQZ and absolute strength got us in, at least in that spot, a little bit better than this BB flat did. Go to, move this down so you can see it. So then I can't. Can't make that smaller. Sorry, guys. Okay, so when this, so essentially this BB flag goes back into the Bollinger Bands here. That's supposed to be consolidation with that indicator. This, we got a cross on Ash here, which would signal an exit, or we have VQZ hitting the 0 line here, which would signal an exit as well. So we've got a cross, short, we're short here, but we're still above the Kijun Sen, so necessarily take that. We do get a long signal here though. So I don't know, so far it seems like absolute strength and VQZ are holding up. Okay. Oh, okay, so you're talking about the values here on VQZ that, so yeah, 0001. So as you can see, it's got to be above 0 for, looks like you can't get any more fine-tuned though than 4 decimal points. So you've either got 0.0001 or 0. There's not really a, I wish there was another decimal point so you could get a little bit higher above it, but can't do that. So whatever. All right. So let's try getting rid of this indicator here. Let's take some trades based on these two and our Kijun Sen and see what happens. So we'll wait for our next signal before we get in. Okay, so I have a short signal here. That is a huge candle. Makes me nervous to take trades on that big of a candle, but we have a signal. So I guess we'll go ahead and take it. See here. Oh yeah, I've got to change this. So yeah, download the auto position size calculator, and you won't be slow like me. Okay, so we've got 151 pips for our stop loss and 100 for our take profit. And we're gonna sell. I really get the feeling this is a bad trade, but we've got signals, so whatever. We're just testing here, so we'll make mistakes, but we'll see what we can do. No, we hit our take profit. Okay, so now what we want to do that we've hit our take profit is we're gonna move. Oh, maybe we didn't hit it. Thought we did. Didn't we? Maybe I'm just not refreshed. Oh yeah, we did. Okay, so now we're gonna move this one to break even. So if you click BE right there, that'll move it right to break even. So now we're gonna let it run until we get an exit signal on one of these. See what happens. So this is kind of what VP was talking about. A lot of times your price will go back up and hit your take profit here at break even. But once in a while, you'll get a good trend where it will continue on. It looks like that's what's happening here, which is good. So it looks like we've almost, are we on 0 here? Kind of hard to tell. Nope, we're on 0.0006. Okay, so we've got an exit right here. Did we get that previous candle? No, we didn't. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close here. And did pretty well on that one. Got us, what, 100 and pips did we gain? $475 pips. Not a bad trend. Okay, so that, at least that one trade worked out. So now unfortunately we don't have that trade in our actually it looks like, yeah, there we are. Okay, that's that same trade we took. So we will go ahead and take it. Our 1 pip, so we're at, that way we have it in our, I guess in our history. 50. So take profit, and then we're gonna open our trades. That one to break even. Oh yeah, I need to open that data window. I'll do that right as soon as this one closes. Okay, data window open. All right, back to where we were. Okay, so still under that Kijun Sen, so we will see if we get another short. Yep, got a short signal right there. So we will go ahead and short it again, like 110. So we're at 1. 55 and 0. Hit our take profits. Now into break even. See, we just got stopped out at break even. So I mean, so far we've had 2 trades. Seems to be going all right. Okay, we got a long signal there. We are above the Kijun Sen, so nervous to take this one, but we will take it. $255. Okay, so we do have an exit signal here on our VQ0 line, so go ahead and close out of that. We should have stayed in. May have had our take profit there. Yeah, we would have. Okay, so we got a short signal, but we're above the Kijun Sen. We won't take it. Okay, long signal. There we go. There's another short signal. So we'll go ahead and take that. 160. Okay, so we want to bring our next one to break even. Okay, so it looks like so far this, I mean, this has been a good trending pair, but I don't know if we have a cross down there. If this is on 0, yeah, volatility quality. No, no, where are we? Yeah, it looks like we're on 0 there. Close out. Okay. All right, so far, we'll take one more trade and see what happens, but so far I'm happy with these indicators we have here. Okay, so we had a short signal, but I don't think we were, no, we weren't below the Kijun Sen there. So we'll wait till our next one. Okay, so we got a short signal there, but not on our VQ0. All right. So we got a short VQ0, so let's just gonna do one. Okay, so we hit our take profit there. Go ahead and move our break even until we get an exit signal. Okay, got an exit signal right there. Okay, so it looks like we have our, our confirmation. We've got the Kijun Sen as well as Ash, and then our volatility indicator, EQZ. So let's see what our volume indicators look like. Okay, we're going to save this again, just so that I know that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and load our volume indicators. Okay, so volume indies here, I have, zoom in for you. I've got WA here, two different settings. So this one is 80. This one is set to 150. And that is, sorry, let me turn off my Discord here. Quit getting notifications. Okay, so this one, I have it set to 150 on the sensitivity. I believe that's default, and this one is set to 80. So this one is a little less sensitive. As you can see, the EMA line looks like is up a little higher. Maybe it's just because it's less sensitive. Yeah, John. So once we get our indicators, then we'll go through the rules and kind of discuss what's going on. We just got to find our volume one here, and then we'll decide on rules and go from there. Okay, so volume indicators, we probably kind of want to have our confirmation indicators on here too, just so that we can compare them with volume. So wish I could load two charts here, but can't. Okay, then we just need our keygens in. All right, so now I kind of compare the volume indicator to our other indicators that we've chosen. So we want to go through here. Maybe we'll go back on the chart a little bit and kind of see. So volume and volatility. So VP says they're the same. They're not the same. One leads to the other. So in forex, you don't really have volume. It goes off pip volume. But the more volume you have, the more volatility you have. So let's see, full screen it. I believe I am full screened. So that one's tough. He didn't necessarily say use one or the other. I use both as a filter. I mean, I guess you could just use one if you want to. Kind of up to you, I guess. He never really said one way or the other. He said that volatility and volume could be the same thing. They are different. One just leads to the other. So do what you wish on that. F11, that'll full screen it? Yeah, cool. So for them, we lose our, people wanted this data window open. So I'm going to full screen it so they can see the data window. Okay, so essentially with these volume indicators, you want to, the signal is to, your volume needs to be over this moving average. As you can see with, so this one is better volume right here. This one's Hawkeye, and then those two are WAE. You can have huge volume on a doji. Yes, you can have huge volume on a doji. Your wick will be longer, but yeah. So as you can see, these two are already giving us different signals than the WAE volume are. If we go back in our chart, and that could be the sensitivity, but this one, I mean, has 150 sensitivity. This one has 80. We're still getting volume above our moving average on these two, on better volume and Hawkeye. So if we look here at our, actually, let's look at our sell signal that we took. So we took this cell right here. So we've got volatility quality line below zero. We've got sell signal there, and then it looks like that better volume is just, actually it looks like it's below the MA when we zoom in on that. Our Hawkeye though is above the MA. I'm not sure exactly, maybe one of you guys know. Hawkeye is another volume indicator. I don't know what the white lines mean. I don't know if that's just maybe indecisive volume. I know the red is sell volume, the green is buy volume. That means you've had higher volume on those particular bars of that type. I'm not sure what the white one is though. I don't know if that's just kind of both indecisive or what. So it looks like as far as that sell signal goes, this is the only one that was above the moving average. Hawkeye was. Let's look at our other trade we took here, which was this. It was this buy, but we got stopped out. So it looks like all of these were above our moving average there. So that wouldn't have kept us out of that trade. This one here, we sold. See where our signal was, probably right there. So it looks like all of these are above. For WA, for WAE, assuming that's what you're talking about, WADA ATAR. All I really change, I leave the default. I just kind of messed with the sensitivity here. You won't always know exactly what to change, and that's kind of where playing around with indicators will, lead you to settings that you want to use. We don't have the time here to really do that, so we're just using kind of default settings on everything. But the sensitivity is right here, and 80, I think 150 is the default. I lowered it to 80 just to see what it would do. So yeah, so volume didn't really help us. The indicators didn't really help us on any of those trades. It didn't keep us out of any of them. So I don't know. We'll take some more trades and kind of see what happens. Just gonna go forward and see. So we have let's see, we have a buy signal here, but we don't have a signal on our, we do have a buy signal there, buy signal here, but we're still under the Kijun-sen. What happens here? Big trend. Okay, so we've got a sell signal here above the Kijun-sen, so that's a no-go. Sell signal again, but we're above the Kijun-sen. I don't know, it's hard to tell if we're crossing here or not. Looks like we barely did, but we're not above zero on the TZ. There we go. Now we are. Okay, so this is telling us to go long here. Our volume indicators, it looks like better volume is just above the moving average. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hawkeye is just above moving. This one that I lowered the sensitivity on is below the moving average, and our default is above the moving average on these. Didn't really help us, but we'll take the trade and see what happens. So let's see, 66 pips, so 99. Okay, so it looks like we got stopped out on that one. Okay, so we got a buy signal there. MT4, we'll just say it's the same. Okay, so we hit our take profit on that. We'll move our next one to break even. And we'll exit once we get a exit signal on either our VQZ or our ASH, or we stop out, one of the two. There we go. Okay, so we got our exit signal there. Okay, so volume was the same on all of those. WA settings for the daily is 140, 5 and 5. Okay, we can try that out then. Try that on here. So try these settings that are any different. Okay. So it looks like a little less sensitive maybe than this one. Yeah, it does seem like better volume and way gave opposite readings. Hawkeye too. As you can see, both of these WAs are below our moving average, but our better volume and Hawkeye are above our moving average. Which one is right? I don't know, but the trade went in our favor. So I don't really know for sure. We've got a short signal here, but we're above the Kijun Sen. Okay, long signal there. We're still below though. Okay, there we go. Short there, we got high volume on everything. So that doesn't really help us in trying to determine. This candle is going to kill our ATR right here though. Wow, I had that wrong. I'm figuring that right. That candle is going to kill our ATR, but I don't really know. Does anyone else know of a way to fix that issue? I don't know how to make it to where our ATR doesn't suffer greatly when you have a huge candle like that. 295. Jeez, that's a big stop loss. Oh, we hit our take profit here, it looks like. We'll move this one to break even. Go from there. Okay, so it looks like we might have brought across on hash here. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe not. There we go. Definitely did there, but we got stopped out. So get the ATR. Yes, Troy. So that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure. I know that we can get the ATR from the previous bar, but I'm not sure how to make the indicator do that. I don't know if there's a special ATR indicator that people have coded that will keep track of the previous bars and not the current one. Calculate the ATR itself. Okay. Okay. Satan 4000, wouldn't you be in danger of not letting the trade breathe? Possibly, if you have a bigger candle like that, maybe. It's hard to say though, because we don't know why that candle happened. Because I mean, here we gap down to the next candle. So I don't know what happened there. That was a Monday, it looks like, maybe. No, yeah. So it was Tuesday morning when that happened. Then this was Wednesday. So I'm not sure what happened there. We don't know if that was news or what caused that, but so yeah, I don't know. As far as these volume indicators, I don't really know on these. It looks like we're getting different signals from Better Volume and Hawkeye, but I don't know which one is better, which one is worse. Because see here, for this candle, we have high volume on this version of Wada Atar. But on these two, we've got really low volume, which this candle is really small. There's no wick. So it would seem like it would be lower volume on this candle, not higher volume like those are showing. So I don't know. I feel like Hawkeye and Better Volume are maybe more accurate. See, VP says use the ETR from the previous candle for 14 days until it corrects itself. Okay, well, there's the answer. So I don't know. I feel like WAE isn't, I don't know. It's hard to tell. We're going to get rid of it though, because these two are giving us more consistent readings between the two of them. So basically what we're looking for here for volume, if we're going to use both the volatility and the volume indicator, then you'd want to create rules where you don't enter, unless these two match our rules as well as whatever you set for your volume. So whether it's above the moving average or if you set it to be so high above the moving average, that's going to be, personal up to you. Like I said, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. This is just kind of how I did it. So it may give you ideas. It may give you some ideas on how to test yours. This, I don't know, is that below? Yeah, looks like we're -2 there. So we got a short, but we're above the Kijun Sen. We don't want to take that in. So now, essentially what we'd want to do, we'd come up with rules for this, and then we'd write out our rules. Write them out in Notepad here. So this is what I've kind of came up with just doing this sim session. So we've got to have price to go long. We have price above Kijun Sen. We've got to have blue above red on ash. Then we've got to have VQZ of 0. And then we want volume above the moving average. And then short is going to be opposite of all of these, of course. Then we'll have volume. So this one you would want sell volume, I believe, above the moving average, or this white one if this is undecided. I'm not sure what that white one is. I'll have to look it up because it looks like better volume has that too. It doesn't show up as often though. Better volume though, it doesn't look like has red. So I'll have to research more as to what those lines are, unless any of you guys know. So we'll say red or white above MA. Okay, so if we were to come up with rules, those are the rules we'd we've come up with so far on this one. So now we would test it for, our 2 years or whatever and see what results we get and go from there. And then if we need to modify it, maybe, I don't know, it seems like the VQZ and the Ash give us pretty consistent signals between each other. So maybe if we modify it, we remove the volume indicator, change the volume indicator, something like that, replace Kijun Sen with something else. It's kind of up to you. That's kind of where you just got to play around on your own algorithm. Yeah, that's what I thought, GG, is that no one has dominance. It's kind of undecided or neutral, I guess. Consolidation trend ending. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we can go through and take a few more trades on this. We've probably been on here long enough, though. I'm not sure how long the video is. Probably an hour and a half so far. But yeah, that's how I go through, and when I'm building algos, that's kind of how I test them. I just, put a whole bunch of indicators of the same type on here, see which one gets me into where I would want to be on the chart, and then eliminate the rest. We can do some more trading. We can end here. Do you guys have any questions? This is really delayed on my side, I can tell by looking at the video. What's algo number 2? I don't know yet. And again, I don't know if this is one you'd want to use, but this is just kind of how I test. Real accounts. I'm not trading a real account, I'm trading a demo. The last real account I traded, I lost all my money from before I found VP, so I'm making sure that I'm totally ready before I start real. I am trading a real crypto account though, not forex, but crypto. I just started that because I had like $50 that I wanted to just try it out. I am profitable on that right now, so that's good. But yeah, guess if you don't have any more questions, next week's video. So that one I'm still deciding on. I was thinking we could have maybe a collaboration session where everyone brings their algos, where everyone bring an algo they've created. We talk about it, go from there. I don't know. I'm up to suggestions. We've got a week to decide on that. I was thinking though, if we're going to do the collaboration session, we want to make it, a small group, which is kind of why I was saying maybe submit an algo. You're going to have it if we're going to collaborate. So, yeah, give me suggestions. I'm open to it. Hope you guys found this useful. Any other questions? Cool. Thanks, guys. Go ahead and end the video and talk to you later.